A very good morning to all of you and welcome back in our online classes. And dear children, last time we have seen the very first chapter from English in class 11, that was from Flamingo book, not Flamingo, it was from Hornbill. Okay, so we have done the very first chapter from our main reader Hornbill in our previous video, and today we are going to take the chapter number 1 from our supplementary reader snapshot, The Summer of Beautiful White Horse by William Saroyan. Okay, and this story is based on the theme truth and honesty. So this chapter is written by William Saroyan. Before we move ahead in this story, I would like to tell you about our poet William Saroyan. He is actually William Saroyan from 1908 to 1981 is an Armenian American novelist, playwright and a short story writer. He won the Pulitzer Prize in 1940 as well as the award in 1943 as an Academy Award for the best story writing for the adaptation of the film adaptation of the Human Comedy. So this writer William Saroyan is actually an Armenian writer, and he writes exclusively about the immigrants who have actually migrated from Armenia to California. In this chapter also he talks something about Armenian tribe. So here in this particular chapter there are two boys. I just want to give you the outline of the story. The Summer of the Beautiful White Horse. In this story there are two boys, Aram aged 9 years and Murad aged 13 years. These are Armenian boys, means they belong to a country of Armenia. From there and they belong to a particular tribe called as Garohalian family. Okay, so this Garohalian family is actually a tribe of Armenia, and it is really famous for its truth and honesty. This tribe, though being a poor tribe, is actually famous for its truth and honesty. So in this particular chapter we are going to study that how these two boys, Aram and Murad, are having a loneliness or having a likeliness. They are having a likeliness towards, or rather they have a passion of horse riding. But the fact behind the story is that they cannot afford a horse, or rather they cannot have a riding of a horse. It's not possible for them in their practical world. So the story deals with how they get a horse and what all is about their horse riding, and then how and what happened in the further sequence that is truly linked with truth and honesty. So we are going to start our chapter, The Summer of a Beautiful White Horse, and the writer starts with the description that it was a summer month once again, and it was a very early morning, some around 4 o'clock in the morning, and Aram says that I was 9 years old. Aram describes himself as 9 years old, and he was in his dream world. It's written over there in the very first line of page of the very first page, second line. It's written, I was 9 and the world was full of every imaginable kind of magnificence. So he was in his dream world of enjoying everything, when what happened, his cousin brother Murad, who was 13 years old, came on his window and he called up for his name. He called Aram, and he just suddenly he broke from his sleep, and what he saw there, it was unimaginable. It was something which he cannot believe. Who cannot believe? Aram could not believe what he saw outside the what? Outside the window. And the thing, why it was not believable? Because it was just early morning and he was in his sleep only. So he rubbed his eyes, and then the daylight was there, means it was early morning. The light was sufficient enough to see what's happening means outside. And it's written that he saw that his cousin Murad was sitting on a beautiful white horse. Okay, Aram saw that his cousin Murad is sitting on a beautiful white horse, and this something his eyes could not believe it. And so he just popped out his head outside the window, and he can see clearly, yes, it's correct, it's not dream, he is on a white horse. And what in that context he replied that you are not dreaming, make it quickly. Means Murad said, oh come on, if you want to ride a horse, come on, hurry up, and come on, it's not a dream kind of thing. Though he was ready, because this Aram was also fond of horses, he also found, but he remembers certain things in his mind. What certain things in his mind? He remembers about his family, that is Garo-Hallian family, which is known for his truth and honesty. But the fact is, this Garo-Hallian family, which these two boys come from, Aram and Murad, is a very poor family, or it is a poverty-stricken tribe. They are such in a poor state that these Garo-Hallian members are unable to manage the food on their daily basis. Means it's very difficult for them. So how the horse, or from where the horses came? These things were coming in his mind. Moreover, their family was known for their truth and honesty. Means apart from being poverty stricken, their tribe, Garo-Hallian tribe, was known for their honesty. Means they were very much truly people, they were very much honestly people, they were very proud of their honesty, and they know what exactly is right and wrong. So there are three things for which this Garo-Hallian family is known for, and that is for their honesty. And for their honesty, they were very proud. They were very proud for this honesty, and apart from it, they know what is right or wrong. So the first thing which came into this Aram's mind is how he has managed to get a horse. Oh my God, how my cousin Murad, from where he get? Did he steal? Because he was well aware of his family economical condition. So he's questioning in his mind, did he steal? But he is trying to convince himself, no member in my family could ever steal. And because they are known for their honesty. And what it is said, that I stared first at my cousin and then at the horse. Means page number 2 in the last, third and fourth. He said from where he has done, and he is asking Murad, from where you stole this horse? And he said, come on, you want to take a ride, so hurry up. Murad didn't answer. See, he is asking, from where did you steal this horse? He said, come on, if you want to take a ride, come on, quick, be hurry. And he was also passionate about riding. Means Aram was also have a great likeliness towards riding a horse. So he just convincing himself that no, he can never steal, even though he has stole, but this is not called as stealing. Because why? Because they are selling the horse. Okay, it's written over there. It's written in the last line, in the last paragraph of the second page. Well, it seemed to me stealing a horse for a ride was not the same as stealing something else. See, here the two boys from a Garo-Hallian tribe, this particular tribe which is known for its honesty and its truthfulness, they are now have started giving excuses that see, even though he has stole the horse, means just for a ride, is not called a stolen purpose. Till till they sell it. See here, they very clearly see. It's written over there. Stealing something else such as money, for all knew maybe it wasn't stealing at all. If you're crazy about horses the way my cousin Murad and I were, it wasn't a stealing. It wouldn't become stealing unless we afford to sell the horse. In page number 3, first line, it very clearly signifies that Ram in his mind becomes very, became very logical for their stealing of the horse, because after seeing the horse, immediately he came to the conclusion, definitely my cousin Murad has stole it. But okay, even though he stole it, because that desire for riding the horse was so long that he tried to be judgmental, that till we didn't sell it, it will not be called as stealing, because we are crazy for the horses. Same, my dear children, it happens to us that our desires became so high that we start giving logical reasons for an illegal thing. Here similar happens with Aram and Murad. What happened? Aram started giving what? Logical reasoning for an illegal thing. Otherwise their tribe was known for honesty. They belonged to such a family, though they were poverty stricken, but these people of this tribe were known for their honesty. So Murad said, come on, hurry up if you want to get a ride. And he just said, okay, just wait, I'm just wearing the clothes and I'm coming up. And Aram, just giving all these second thought, he jumped out of the window. They both sat on the horse, and then the beautiful horse riding started at 4 o'clock in the morning. And what happened? This Murad and Aram, this Aram actually used to live in the Walnut Avenue, okay, and it's written on page number 3. You can just underline. And behind their house were beautiful vineyards, yards, beautiful orchards were there, and irrigation ditches were there. So from Walnut Avenue they started on the horse, and within 3 minutes they came across the Olive Avenue. And Murad was in such a high spirit, it has been mentioned in the chapter that out of Aram and Murad was totally alive and the craziest person. Later on this chapter, his craziness will be seen. So what happened? Murad started singing. It's written, page number 3, it's the 3rd paragraph, third lines. The feel of the horse running was wonderful. My cousin Murad, who was considered one of the craziest members of our family, began to sing. He began to roar. Oh my God. So while riding, both of them, means they were in such a high spirit because both were having a passion of horse riding. What happened? Murad started singing. His voice was not good in singing. That's why it is saying that he started roaring. And it has also been mentioned in this chapter that Murad was the craziest person. And it is also written that in every family, one or the other person is crazy. So in their family, Murad was the craziest. And after whom? After Uncle Khosrow. So in here, while the writer describing about that these two boys are having a ride, there has been description that about Uncle Khosrow. Okay? This is very important. You should know about this Uncle Khosrow. So while singing, means while this Murad started singing, Aram just reminded the readers that he is the natural descendant of our crazy person in our family, and one of the craziest person in their family is Uncle Khosrow. Now Uncle Khosrow is a huge man. There has been few characteristics mentioned. He's a huge personality, and he is having a black hair and thick mustache, and he is actually having very energetic type of temper. He is having energetic temper, means rather a furious type of temper. Okay, and he is very impatient. He is very irritable also. Sometimes he is very irritating. So these were the characteristics mentioned in your chapter on page number 3 in the 4th passage, that how Aram describes Murad as a natural descendant of Uncle Khosrow, which is also the member of their family, and how Uncle Khosrow was very huge. He was having a very different type of temperament, or rather you can call he is a very impatient personality. He is very irritable. He is having a thick mustache, and he is actually, he always have a punchline. What it says like that in the last line of the 4th paragraph in your 3rd page, it's written, anyone from talking by roaring, means he was so impatient he stopped everybody by talking. What he speaks like that? It's no harm, pay no attention to it. Oh my God, he was just like the like it. Uncle Khosrow's attitude was very, very rigid. He used to talk always, and he used to make others stop talking by saying, it's no harm, pay no attention to it. Like this. Once upon a time, what happened, it's written in the chapter, it's been told that one day Uncle Khosrow was actually was in the barber shop. He was getting his mustache trimmed, and his son came rushingly towards him and said, oh my God, the house is on the fire. And Uncle Khosrow, as usual, it's no harm, pay no attention to it. Oh my God, the barber was amused. Oh my God, your house is on the fire. It's no harm, pay no attention to it. He was like that, such a rigid personality. So here Aram is talking that similar attitude was of Murad also. Murad was not the son of Uncle Khosrow. He was not a son. His father was Zurab. Murad's father name is Zurab, and he was a very practical person. But Aram also mentions, the writer also mentions here, it's not like that as a son you will get only the physical features of your daddy. It's not necessary you are going to get the nature and attitude of your daddy. So Murad's attitude was very crazy. That is only Aram wants to make the writer understand. So he started singing, and while they were riding the horse, and immediately what happened? Murad was in a mood. He was telling Aram, you get down. Why? What happened? You get down, Aram, Murad said. Why? I want to ride the horse all alone. Then Murad said, but after that you are going to give me the turn, means horse is going to ride me. He said that we will see later, that horse is going to take a ride for you. But at present you just get it down. I just want to take a ride. So Murad actually sat on the horse all alone. He kicked on his heels on the horse, and then horse actually stood on his hind limbs, and then he took a breath. The horse started runningly towards the dry fields and towards the irrigation ditches. And after 5 minutes, both the horse and Murad returned. Totally bad, because horse ran very fastly, and he just crossed the dry fields. He went into that irrigation ditches also, means all those canals meant for irrigation facility and all. And within 5 minutes they returned totally wet. So Aram said, it's my turn now. Oh, are you able to do it? Come on, it's time, it's daylight, means 4 o'clock they started. Now the sunlight was growing faster. So it was totally about to be a daylight. So Murad said, okay Aram, fine. Okay, I don't think you are able to do it, but still I will let you, but hurry up. Hurry up, because all the people will be awakened. And It's not like that. Means it was very clear that the horse on which they both boys were riding does not really belong to them. Okay, so we can see on page number 4 that on the 5 that it's written that Murad rather guided Aram that you have to do like that. You have to just actually do it nicely. You have to give him a kick on his muscles, and then you just start. Same Aram did. He was really fearful because Aram didn't actually had any right till date. So he did it the same way. Horse also breathed. He rode, he breathed, and horse started running like a wild. He ran on the road. After crossing the road, he went into the vineyards. Okay, and there on the vineyards, what happened? Aram fell down and horse ran away. You know who was watching from behind? Murad was watching from behind. Oh my God, he came runningly, rushingly. He came from there. He said, oh my God, Aram, I'm not worried about you, you know. I'm worried about my horse. Oh my God, what you have done? He ran away. We need to find the horse. And what happened? Both the fellows, Aram and Murad, went into the different directions. Aram went towards the road and Murad went towards the irrigation ditches to look for the horse, because horse ran away. After making this, Aram fell. So what happened? Aram went towards the roads. And this Murad, he went towards the irrigation ditches to look for horse. And exactly after 30 minutes, Murad returned with the horse. Okay, Murad returned with the horse. Means they were able to find the horse. Now what to do? Now Murad said, Aram said what to do. It's written on page number, again, we find it on your page number 5. Okay, so it's written over there. It's here in the middle. It's written, it took him half an hour to find the horse and bring him back. All right, he said, jump on, the whole world is awake. Okay, so Murad again was on the horse. He said, come on, Aram, jump up. The entire world is now have got up. So he was not at all worried where to hide him, because he said, what are you going to do? Aram asked, what are you going to do with this horse? Murad replied very, very simply, we are having two options. What two options they were having? Number 1, return him back. Means from where they bought that horse, you have to return it. Or number 2 option, hide him. So they opted for number 2 option. See, it's written in your book on page number 5. It's written there. What we will do, I said. Well, he said we will either take him back or hide him until tomorrow morning. He didn't sound worried, and I knew he had hide him and not take him back. And Murad was not at all worried about the horse. Okay, he knew that Murad is ultimately going to take the action as hide him, hide the horse. Okay, where we will hide him? Aram is asking, where are we going to hide this horse? And Murad said, I know the place. We are going to hide him in a place that is a deserted vineyard of a farmer, you know. And you know, I know this place. It says, and by this statement, our Aram came to know that this is not the first time that Murad is riding a horse. Because Murad was not at all worried. He knew perfectly the place. He told Aram, I knew where to hide him. So what he spoke? He spoke, when you steal the horse. And Murad was like that. What's all about? What is he saying? Who steal the horse? No, I mean to say, how long you are actually riding the horse. Immediately Aram changed the question and he said, I just want to ask how long. And then Murad replied, it is this morning that I ride the horse. And it was like this. Aram said, is it really? Murad said, this is the only thing you have to tell to everybody if somebody asks how long you are taking a ride of the horse. Understood? I don't want that you should tell any lie. But it was a lie. They were all lying. Aram and Murad, being from an honest tribe, or rather their tribe was known for their honesty since 11th century, they became liars, they became stealers, they became robbers. They have robbed the horse. So he said, no, it's not true. Come on. And what happened? Murad led him to the place called, as we come to page number 6. It is it's here in the third passage. He walked the horse quietly to the barn of deserted vineyard, which at one time had been pride of a farmer named Fitvizian, and a lot of oats and alfalfa were there in the barn. So Murad already know the place. He drove the horse to the vineyard. Deserted vineyard means once upon a time it was vineyard, now no more. It is used as vineyard. And there was a barn, barn means a shed where animals is kept, or sometimes animal things are kept. So he carried over there. So there was a talk between Aram and Murad, and Murad said, my dear Aram, I have a way with the horse. Actually, I understood the horse well. Even the horses understood me. So Aram said, will you let me know also what is the way how to ride the horse, how to have a friendship with the horse, so that horse never actually threw me away. Come on, it will take time. You are just what? You are just 9. When you will actually come to 13, or you will be 13, in this particular paragraph we came to know that Murad is of 13 years of age. He said, oh come on, don't worry. When you will be of 13, you will know how to handle a horse. And then both walked away to their houses. And Aram went to his house, had his breakfast, and on that day, who came, Oh my God! Uncle Khosrow came in Aram's house. Who came? Uncle Khosrow came for the coffee and cigarette. And by the meantime, Uncle was there sitting in the parlor. He was sitting in the room. What happened? A new person arrived. A person arrived in their home, and that person's name is John Biro. Okay, while Uncle Khosrow particularly visited Aram's house, what happened? Another person came to visit this house, and his name was John Biro. And this John Biro was actually an Assyrian. Okay, he was actually a native of Syria or Assyria. It is written on page number 6 in the last third. Here, a farmer called as John Biro, actually was an Assyrian, came to visit Aram's house the same time when Uncle Khosrow was also there. And we have seen Uncle Khosrow's behavior. It's no harm, pay no attention to it. He was very irritating nature. He never allowed anybody to talk. Okay, so John Biro was actually an Assyrian. He learned Armenian language because he was all alone. Okay, so in due course of time, he learned it. So there was a conversation between John Biro and Uncle Khosrow. Here Uncle Khosrow really rode like every time he rode. So what happened? John Byro said, or rather, he started speaking about himself. What? That his horse has been stolen. He's telling that my horse, my beautiful horse has been stolen last month. I'm not able to find him. Uncle Khosrow is telling, Are, why are you worried about a horse? Huh? Then John Byro, it's okay for you people like Mr. Khosrow. You are a city dweller. You live in city. But for me, who I belong from my country, Assyria, Syria, where horse is very important. For me, I should have a horse. Come on. Uncle Khosrow was like that. And then, what John Byro's telling? I walked 10 miles. Come on, man. You're having your legs. You walk 10 miles or 10,000 miles. It doesn't matter. But my left leg hurts. It's paining. Uncle Khosrow is always like that. Come on, you have legs. You can walk. Then Mr. John Byro, I bought. He was in the sorrow of losing the horse. So, John Byro is telling, I bought that horse in $60. How many dollars is telling? Here it is. It is there written on page number 7 in the 3rd line. It's written that horse cost me $60. So in the house of Aram, we have seen that Uncle Khosrow and John Byro were having conversation. John Byro was real upset about his lost horse. So he was telling Uncle Khosrow, and Uncle Khosrow, why you are crying on a horse, yeah? He told, I walked so many miles. You are having legs. That horse cost me $60. Uncle Khosrow was again roaring. Are, come on, I shut down that money. And this time, the patience of this John Byro was tested. He became restless. He got up. He got up from that place. He slammed the door and went away from Aram's house. Okay. He was really feeling bad that, see, I'm in such a grief. I lost my horse and I'm discussing it with Uncle Khosrow, and see how irritable, how he's responding like a very frustrating personality. Even he should also actually have a sorrow with me. He should have some sympathy for me that I lost my beautiful horse. So here in this scenario, the readers comes to know that actually the horse on which this Aram and Murad were having ride belongs to whom? Belongs to John Byro. And he came in Aram's house and he discussed. But when Uncle Khosrow said, shut on your money, then he also became impatient. He went away. When he went away, what happened? Yes, mother who previously offered this John Byro, she offered some coffee and some cigar also. She told Aram, doesn't matter, he is a very, very, very generous person. No, he is a good person, but all he is a homesick. Okay, he has left his country, he came in this country, so it's all like that. He is in a frustrated mood right now because his horse is lost. So Aram came to conclusion that Murad is having the horse of whom? John Byro. He immediately went outside his house. He went to look for where is Murad, and where he found Murad? He found Murad sitting under a peach tree. And that time, what happened? Murad was actually playing, or rather talking with a bird, with a robin bird. That bird was hurt, so he was just actually trying to help the wounded bird. And Aram gave in to this Murad and said that he told the entire scenario that John Byro visited my house. He told that his horse has been stolen away. And Aram could also easily make up that what? The stolen horse, or rather the horse which they have kept in the deserted vineyard, belonged to John Barrow. So see what as a reader we are expecting in the story. As a reader we are expecting in the story that maybe Aram is going to tell, come on, we need to return the horse, as John Barrow is really worried. But you know what, Aram? To our shocking, it is really shocking for the readers, as Aram said, see, we are not going to return your promise, Murad. You are not going to return the horse till I learn riding. Oh my God. Murad became a thief. He is disgracing his honesty. He is disgracing his tribe. And see here, Aram also became a thief. He also wants that stolen horse. Or as a reader, we were expecting that Aram might have told Murad that, come on, we should give him back. But he's saying, no. Promise me, he's telling. It's written here. What it is written here? Page number 7. Okay. And it's written. Page number 7 in the middle passages. I'm reading out to you. The farmer John Barrow said he visited our house. He wants a horse. You have it in a month. Oh my God. He said, John Barrow told the horse is stolen since last month. Murad, you are riding. That's why you are so well trained in riding a horse. I want you to promise not to take it back until I learn to ride. And this really caused Murad, oh my God, he stood up. Come on, what are you talking? Till you learn. Oh my God, it will take a year to learn for you. Huh? I cannot keep that horse so long. One day I will return to this farmer, though it is a stolen horse. But see, no. Aram was like that. No, you are not going to return. Promise. So Murad was settled on the promise of, how many days? 6 months. Okay, for 6 months we will keep the horse. See, they have stolen the horse and they are ready to keep it for 6 months. And what happened? The horse must go back to the owner, because Murad was saying that I have already stolen for last months. So lastly, they finally settled on 6 months. That for 6 months, in 6 months, Aram is going to learn the horse riding. From the next day, what happened? For the next 2 weeks, they started the same routine. Early morning, these two boys get up. They took the horse, started riding. Murad was perfect in riding the horse. And every time, horse threw away Aram because he was just 9 years old. He was not knowing how to ride the horse. And this was their routine early morning. And one day, after that thing, within these 2 weeks, what happened? When they were returning to hide the horse, they used to hide the horse in a deserted vineyard. So while returning, after taking a ride, while returning to the deserted vineyard, what happened? Yes, they met John Barrow. This Murad, Aram was there, horse was there, and from the front, John Barrow was coming. And Murad has very crazy personality. Come on, we can have a talk with this farmer. I have a way with the farmer. Arey Baba, you are having a stolen horse of his. At least you should have this mind. And they started conversing. Murad started conversing with the John Barrow, and John Barrow immediately had a look on the horse, and he said, "Oh, what a white horse! What a beautiful horse! What is the name?" He said, "My heart," in Armenian language. Okay, John Barrow from the first look can make it out that the horse with Murad and Aram was his own horse. That's why he started investigating. He said, "Oh my God, what a beautiful horse." And what it is written? It is written on page number 8. It's written, he asked his name. What's the name? First line, he said, "My heart." And then John Barrow said, "Oh, what a lovely name, your horse." It's written in the third passage, page number 8. And it is written over there, A lovely name, John Barrow said, for a lovely horse. I could swear it is the horse that was stolen for me many weeks ago. May I look into the mouth? John Barrow's suspicious mind that this horse belongs to me started immediately and said, my horse was really sane. Can I look into his mouth? And he looked into the horse's mouth. He kept on counting tooth after tooth. And what he said? Dude, this horse is exactly the twin of my horse. You know what are twins? Twins, we know. The two children who are born at the same time from the same mother with a gap of few seconds. They are called identical twins or twin brother. So John Barrow, his mind clearly told after counting the teeth that the horse belonged to him. But what he replied, to these two children, Aram and Murad, this horse belonged definitely to me. See. Page number 8, fourth passage. The farmer looked into the mouth of the horse. Tooth for tooth, he said, I would swear it's my horse. If I didn't know your parents. The fame of your family for honesty is well known for me. Yet the horse is a twin of my horse. A suspicious man would believe his eyes instead of heart. Good day, my young friends. Oh my God. See, after even counting the tooth, John Barrow came to know that this horse is mine. But as he was having a full faith in Garaholian family, what he said to boys? This horse can be my horse, but as I know your parents, they are known for their honesty. So my dear boys, this horse is a twin horse of mine. His suspicious mind actually overcame the heart. His mind was speaking that yes, the horse belongs to me. John Barrow was telling, his mind was telling, this horse is mine. But his heart could not believe that the two boys belonging to a tribe which is known for honesty could ever steal. So he allowed them to go. And what happened? That day only, see what they did, boys. Early the following morning, we took the horse to the barn of John Barrow. After that, they returned immediately to the John Barrow, means they carried the horse. They actually placed the horse in the barn of the John Barrow, and dogs also followed them, but dogs were all quiet. They didn't bark. Aram was surprised because Murad was like that. Murad was having a great space with the animals, and while leaving this horse in that barn of John Barrow, because the horse really belonged to John Barrow, Murad stole that horse from John Barrow's barn 1 month back. So they tied the horse there in John Barrow's barn, and while leaving, yes, Murad was really fond of this horse. He actually had his hands around the horse. He actually pressed his nose around the horse's nose. He patted the horse, and then they left. And that following afternoon, John Barrow came in the carriage to house of the Aram and told, his horse has been returned and he is much more stronger. He is much more in a good temperament. And Uncle Khosrow was still there when this John Barrow again came for the second visit to Ram's house. And what is telling? Last two lines I will read out. Uncle Khosrow became irritated and shouted, "Quiet, man, quiet! Your horse has been returned. Pay no attention to it." Means that particular afternoon, John Biro came to the house of Aram and informed that his horse has been returned. That same time, Uncle Khosrow was also there, and he said, "Quiet, man, quiet. Your horse has returned, now you take your peace." The moral of the story is the two boys who belong to Garholian family, actually that tribe famous for honesty and truth, though poverty stricken from 11th century, stole the horse. They actually did it because of their passion of riding the horse, but their conscience became actually alert, or rather they were raised by their conscience when John Biro, being a suspicious man, didn't believe his mind, believed at heart and said, "I would have said this horse is mine if I don't know your parents, but I know you belong to the family which is known for honesty and which is known for its truthfulness. That's why he said this horse is not mine." So that particular thing raised their conscience. They actually felt sorry and they returned back the horse. Okay, my dear children, so I hope you got the story, and before I take a leave, I would like to give you few questions for your home assignment. Apart from your book or textual questions, you have to do 1 or 2, 3 questions which I am going to give you from additional questions. To which tribe, or rather I can say you, what are the unique traits? What are the unique traits? What are the unique traits of the Garholian tribe? Okay, what are the unique traits of the Garholian tribes? You are going to answer it. The unique traits of the Garholian tribes is, yes, they are known for their honesty and they were very proud of it, and they know what is exactly right and wrong. Though they were poverty stricken, they were known for honesty from last 11 centuries. Now my second question is, why did Murad steal the horse? Why did Murad steal the horse and then return it? Okay. So why did Murad steal the horse? Murad steal the horse because of the passion of riding the horse. And then why he returned it? Because John Biro reminded him of high grade of honesty of his family. He said, if you were the children, I don't know your parents. If I don't know your parents, I would have said this horse is mine. But as your parents or family is known for honesty, so that raised actually the conscience, and that's why he and Aram returned it. Okay, my dear children, this will be the answer. Now the third question is, what were the peculiarities of Uncle Khosrow's behavior? Question number 3. What were the peculiarities in Uncle Khosrow's behavior? Okay, my dear children. So what were the peculiarity? He was very impatient, he was furious, and he was irritable, and he always roared or rather shut up, like saying, "No harm, pay no attention to it." Okay, and question number 4, the last question. What do you think? What do you think induced the boys, what do you think induced the boys to return the horse, to return the horse to its owner? So the answer you already know, that they were known for their honesty and for their truthfulness, and they were conscience stricken because they thought that if John Byro came to know, or others came to know that they have stolen the horse, it will bring a disgrace to the family. So that's why, due to their conscience stricken, they returned the horse. So these are the 4 questions. And my dear children, I once upon urge you that whenever you look for the video, please have a reading ahead of the time. Go for your reading from line to line or line by line, and then look for the video. Even after looking for the video, you can go for reading. We are in online classes. There are certain limitations of it also. Here in this, the entire course cannot be finished if we go line by line reading. Moreover, you are in now senior classes, so lecture method is more important. It's more important that you go for reading for your vocabulary enrichment also, and for your appraisal of your vocabulary. So my dear children, I hope that you find it very valuable. Just read your books and properly complete your home assignment, because I'm going to call you for your images. After this, you are going to send me the images as soon as I'm going to tell you in your live stream classes. So please don't keep your work pending. Do it along with me, because we are already late. So till we meet in our next video, have a nice time. Bye bye.